These days, it seems like everybody has a podcast or they're thinking about starting one. A whole lot of people hoping to become the next Joe Rogan, making millions of dollars.
But how much can you really make, and is it more work than you might think? Gordon Severson took a deep dive into the world of podcasting to find out.
Can you imagine sitting in front of one of these old radio sets for hours listening to the news, some sports, or your favorite show? Man, the world was just a different place back then. Or was it?
Listening to shows, that sounds a lot like a podcast. The only difference is now you don't need to be an old school AM radio announcer to have your own show. All you need is a phone.
You're listening to the Twisted Sisters podcast.
In a spare bedroom in Hampton, Minnesota,
you're listening to Samantha and Allie.
Two former teen moms are making waves in the world of podcasting.
It has been a blast.
It has been fun.
They call themselves the Twisted Sisters, chatting about life as a working mom.
He's going to be 16.
And how to survive the difficult moments in life.
It is hard when you're like, I have nothing to give.
They started the podcast about a year ago.
We launched on 2/22/22.
Yes.
And so far, they've had around 37,000 downloads.
We literally went in blind.
No experience with microphones or recording a show. They've definitely made a mistake or two.
Recording episodes and realizing, oh, we didn't press the record button.
And they quickly learned producing a podcast takes a lot of work.
A lot more than I think we realized.
About 5 to 10 hours a week to produce a 30 to 60 minute show.
Right.
So far, they've spent around $6,000 to get things started. And they've made...
So no money yet.
Allie says they do get offers from advertisers every week or so, but they haven't found the right fit yet.
It's a mixture between business and staying true to yourself.
Right.
They're hopeful that someday soon the podcast will be profitable. And according to the podcast hosting service Buzzsprout, they're off to a good start. More than half the podcasts out there are getting less than 30 downloads a month.
It's a tough build.
Ian Levitt owns Studio Americana in Edina, where they produce 45 podcasts for clients across the country.
One of our most high-performing podcasts that we help produce is a horse veterinarian.
He says they come in all shapes and sizes. Most are actually created by companies trying to reach new clients.
You could have 100 people listening. If you get 2 leads out of that, depending on what industry you're in, you've done everything you hope to do.
And there are more podcasts out there than you might think. According to the Podcast Index, which tracks new podcasts and episodes, there are more than 4 million podcasts available for download. More than 100,000 will be created this month alone.
Yeah, there's a lot of people vying for that spot.
To get started, he says $150 will buy you the basic setup. A professional setup will cost you around $500 to $600.
Making sure your quality is good is going to put you above 85% of people out there.
And building an audience takes time.
Hyperbole, the best podcast ever.
Amy!
Hold with me for a second.
Danielle and Amy have been podcasting for nearly 5 years.
We're in the middle of a snowstorm.
Their show, Hyperbole, the best podcast ever, tackles everything from weather and news to reality TV and the terror.
They're mean and they're aggressive.
Of wild turkeys.
They're feathery monsters.
And the occasional Scooby-Doo impression.
Scream was reindeer right red and wrong.
For them, it's all about having fun.
We do it because it brings us joy and we're bringing other people joy.
They have a few sponsors and do make some money, but most of it goes back into producing the podcast.
I believe that the way that we measure success is by making people laugh.
Not by clicks and downloads, which they say can create a lot of stress and obsession.
Don't set yourself up to let yourself down.
Levitt says it's a common problem for first-time podcasters, being fixated on the numbers and the money.
I had to stop. That was an issue for me.
Samantha says counting clicks creates a lot of anxiety and expectations.
It almost felt like a job for a second, but we weren't getting money from it.
So if they had any advice for a first-time podcaster, it would be to focus on the fun and not the money, because if you're having fun, then the listeners will too.
I mean, if you feel like this is your passion and your purpose, then by all means, go for it.
And get that radio voice ready.
On another note,
because even though the technology has changed a lot over the years,
hit us up.
Yeah.
People are still interested in a good story and a good show.
Are you excited? Yeah.
Perfect.
Gordon Severson.
Love you all.
KARE 11 News.
Goodbye.
Stay twisted.
I can't get Randy hooked on podcasts. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I love podcasts. I probably like them too much.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to just have quiet. But
100,000 this month,
Get
though.
you.
100,000 this
Created
month.
this
That's
month.
amazing. Yeah, created this month.